And the third use of oil, Dreamwork by Peter Mender with our dream zones. There are beautiful names for these dream zones. I mentioned them many, many times. There is a joy zone, there is a relationship zone, there is self-memory zone, there is zone of greed, there is zone of fear, zone of spiritual hardening, zone of individual potential, zone of creativity, imagination. There are many, many, many dream zones, and oil is a primary tool to work with dream zones for intentional dreaming. You can do dream analysis, or you can just do the zones. It depends on your level of self-perception, self-awareness, how you process things, because sometimes you only do the oil and you're so self-aware that things just come to you. Things resolve on a physical level, on emotional level, but also on spiritual and mental level. On the level of symbols and images, they come to you. So you don't need anything else. Some people, they're so far away from themselves, they really need to do some job for tuning into the body, establishing this dialogue with the internal self first, and then dream analysis and more extensive dream work. This is something that we do from Cafe Self with our Dream Challenge, Dream Yourself Together. I go step by step into it because I myself started off with being really, really far away from myself, from my body, from who I really was. My self-image was totally wrong. I was in a very rigid industry back at the time, and I just had massive difficulties just tuning into myself and getting any results with Colourpuncture or anything else, on the background of everybody else in the group having massive results and reactions and consequences and hidden. So I went through a long, long journey to myself, and I really like helping people who have the same problem because it makes such a difference. It just makes such a difference to your life. It's almost like before you didn't live your life, you were working, you were doing things, you were functioning, you were serving your family, your community, you were a really good member of society, you made excellent contribution, but you were not living your life at all. And after you become self-aware and you can easily tune in and you can easily establish this dialogue between your daily self and your internal self, and your life is completely different. You start living your life, you start noticing which season it is outside, what is the weather. You start being so much more with yourself and with the world and with other people, because you're more engaged, you're more plugged in, you're here now, you're not somewhere. This is a massive difference. So if you have problems with tuning in, if you feel like you're not reaching the level of awareness and healing that you want, then come up to one of our challenge courses. And this is a combination of calls and self-work and work with journaling prompts and the oil and acupressure points. You don't have to be a colourpuncturist for that. You don't have to have colourpuncture. Colourpuncture helps. But this is not a primary aim, because primary aim is this establishing this dialogue. So this is completely different kind of work. So this is if you want to go further. However, if you would like to do just simple dream work with the oil, you've never done it before, and you just want to start, you just need to invest into the oil. You just need one bottle, because you only need a couple of drops, 1 drop, 2 drops, 3 drops maximum on the biggest zone possible, like over the hips. This is a big zone. Or here, this is a big zone. I think personally that 1, 2 drops is enough. Sometimes people use 3, but I think 3 is too much. It's just really, really rich oil. You don't need a lot of it. There is a simple instruction manual which has 4 zones. They're called zones of expansion of consciousness. They're all based on the legs. So additional benefit of this also is that because most of them located either directly over the main joints on the legs, or on one side of the joint, then it's an extra help for the joints of the leg as well. But the primary aim is for us to move forward, hence the legs. So all the zones are on the legs. So we are learning to move forward with our individual potential, tapping into it, getting in all the symbols and imagery and creativity, imagination, and then more into perception and intelligence and into reality, into planning. And the whole process is just 4 zones. So you do days 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your simplest sequence. You don't need to learn anything else. You just need to open the instruction manual which comes with the oil, and you need to just go with it. So this is very simple and brilliant way to start. We have other dream sequences, more advanced, more on specific purposes, and I've done many of them, but from time to time I'm still coming back to the really first one, to the basic one. I like to do it at least a couple of times a year, so in order to sort of check in, because if you think about it, what is your individual potential, what is our full potential, This is something that very concrete and very obscure at the same time. Sometimes we feel what it is, sometimes it's totally hidden, but it's never ever going away too far. It's around, it's somewhere within our awareness. We just need to tap into it. But also, this is something which is dynamic, which is something that changes with time. So, depending on the situation in your life, as you go through your life, things happen, have different influences from the outside. The situation in 2023 is very different from situation in 2020, right? So we're all subject to all these bigger influences on a level of humanity, cosmic influences. All those big changes